This must be the artifact the assistant mentioned. And here's the log.
Dr. Bryson, it's Garneau. I'm sending you an artifact I found. About the only thing I found there, in fact. Maybe it's nothing, but I'd swear Leviathan came through here. I'm gonna crunch some numbers. Burn up the rest of this project travel allowance. Maybe I can project our Reaper Killer's movements. I'll check in when I get to the next site.
Garneau appears to be our best lead to track Leviathan, but he does not state a destination.
Hey everyone, it's Cyrano, and I'm going to do a review this week on the first, or rather second DLC for Mass Effect 3, because the first one came with the game and you still had to pay for it anyway. But moving on, this one is Leviathan, and it's about a Reaper Killer. And generally you go back and forth between combat missions and investigation missions. So you investigate this lab, you try to find out where to go, and then that'll lead you to a world, and on that world some story unfolds. The combat on these worlds is solid, however there's no new special mechanics there or anything like that, but they are generally pretty decent in size too. It's not as good as the Shadow Broker DLC that came out with Mass Effect 2, and it's going to be hard for any DLC to come up against that. The main problem with this one, I think, is characters. Most of the characters are just, I don't know, inbuilt model characters, and they're not very interesting characters. However, the Leviathan, it's a very interesting character, and there's not really enough of it. You sort of, in the end, you find the Leviathan, and you can talk to it, and then it just sort of stops there. And that's what I really don't like about DLCs. There's some real interesting character that just sort of you discovered, and that's it. We probably won't hear about it ever again now until Mass Effect, the next Mass Effect, and the next one could be a prequel for all we know, so we don't even know what's going on. So you get this really cool character you find out about, and you get to have a chat, and then that's about it. You don't get to do much else. I found that a little bit disappointing. Like I said, this game is on 3 different worlds, and one's a space station, one's on the edge of a cliff. We have to sort of climb the cliff without trying to fall off while the Reapers are going nuts. And the next one is where the Reapers are just going nuts, sort of on a spacecraft that's crash landed. And at the end, there's a water segment, and a lot of people were looking forward to this, including myself, and it was really, really short. I mean, it practically didn't even have to exist. So that was a bit of a disappointment. They could have at least used that opportunity to have some sort of water-based vehicle and have some cool mechanics. Maybe just for one level, just have this cool submarine or something. That would have been pretty wicked. But I'm afraid not. You do get some backstory to the Reapers, and that expands the ending by 2 or 3 extra lines, but doesn't change it. I would probably wish this was a little bit cheaper as well. It seems EA's current strategy in gaming is, okay, we'll make the game real cheap over time, and then, well, everyone can pay more than they even pay for the original game to buy these little extra bits of DLC. So it feels like you're paying, you're paying a premium for these DLCs, and I mean, you're almost paying, by the time you get them all, you're paying for the whole game over again, and it just doesn't seem to equal the amount of content you should be getting. This is Cyrano, and I'd like to give this piece of DLC, as much as it doesn't really do much to excite me, except for the Leviathan, it doesn't actually do anything wrong, so I am going to give it 4 out of 5 stars. There's at least like maybe 2 or 3 hours of content here, so its biggest issue is just the pricing. If you can get it on sale, pick it up. Make sure you definitely pick it up. But otherwise, you know, you could play where Mass Effect 2, I really feel like, when I tell anyone who's playing Mass Effect 2, buy the DLC. It's actually pretty decent. On here, I actually feel like I can go through the whole game and without the DLC, and I still feel just fine. So, 4 out of 5 stars, but it's not as necessary as, say, some of the Mass Effect 2 DLC. This is Cyrano, and thanks for watching.
Scanner indicates the probe is below my position. Looking for a way down. Shutting down all non-critical systems to preserve remaining power. Not sure how much juice the emergency thruster will need to get me back to the surface. Can't worry about that now. Getting some strange readings from the probe. Something is definitely down there. Reading the probe directly below me. Looks like the final drop.